Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Cosplayers Paradigm podcast. Today I have with me two up and coming, well established, and excellent cosplayers Pink Opal Cosplay and Pink Petal
Hi.
Cosplay.
Hi.
Now, would you rather me say your cosplay names or your real names?
Real name's fine with me.
Yeah, same.
Okay. All right. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourselves and how who- how did you get into cosplay as well?
You want me to go first?
You go first.
I'm Pink Opal Cosplayer Robin. I've been cosplaying for about 4 years. I started when the pandemic started. I had nothing else to do, and I've been wanting to cosplay for a really long time, but I didn't have the self-confidence to do it. So finally, during COVID, I was like, I'll give it a try, and if I hate it, no one will know. And it went on from there.
Very nice.
I'm Pink Petal Cosplay, or Brie. I don't entirely know when I started cosplaying. I did it a little bit as a teenager and then kind of stopped for a while. I picked back up also during COVID, during the pandemic and the lockdowns, because I started making like TikToks and stuff, and it went from there. And then I just kind of kept it rolling.
Very nice. Now, of course, both of you have been to the Comic Cons. Grand Rapids is where I've met both of you, but you've gone to multiple different ones as well. What would you say is one of your favorites that you've actually done?
Ooh. I really like Grand Rapids Comic Con, if I'm honest. That's kind of one of the first ones that I went to, like one of the bigger conventions. Or I'm out of Traverse City, so Cherry Capital Comic Con here in Traverse City is also pretty high up there on the list for me.
I really like Doki Dawn. It's a little smaller, but it's an anime con, which I really like, and I recognize more things there. I love Comic Cons, but I'm like starting to learn more about like Marvel and DC and stuff. But I am definitely started as an anime kid, so I know a little more at those cons.
I hear you there. I've been told about that con, but I've not been able to go yet.
It's
I'm
fun.
hoping sometime soon.
Yeah.
And now that I'm living closer to the Cherryland, I'm hoping to go ahead and check that one out too, but I missed it this past weekend.
Mm.
So here in the future, we shall see, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, I've also seen, of course, and definitely liked it multiple times, that you're going to be a guest to a couple of different cons that we have coming up as well.
I think that's you as a
I was
couple.
like, yeah, I'm guesting at Spring Fling. That is the only confirmed one so far.
Catty Pop.
Oh, Caddy Pop too. Yes, there's that one in about 2 weeks, but hopefully there will be a couple, at least two more rolling in during the summertime.
How does it feel being able to be asked to do the Comic Cons like this?
It's like honoring, but kind of weird because when I started going to them, like especially Grand Rapids, that was a dream of mine, and I never thought I'd get to this point of being able to guest. So it's super awesome, but kind of strange feeling that I get to do it now.
I can understand that. A bit strange, but at the same time, exciting. A little bit different, but yeah. I remember during the costume contest, and afterwards, you seemed a little frazzled, but excited at the same time.
Yeah, I was not expecting it.
Yeah, but hey, everyone that saw the cosplay that you were wearing, I mean, I was blown away. I saw it, turned around, was like, no, I have to talk to this person.
Oh. So a lot of things went wrong that day, but they ended well.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Costume malfunctions.
Room for growth.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
And I went ahead and met you as well, Bree. And that same as Iran, that's just, how long did that make? You know, how long did it take you to print that and make that?
So total printing hours, I think, went into the 300s range. Total crafting hours ended up being around 800 hours after all the sanding and finishing and sewing and strapping up with the like buckles and stuff. So it was a lot. It took a long time.
It sounds like it. Wow, I did not realize it was that long, but the end product, absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
Now, between the two of you, you went ahead and started between the pandemic and a while ago, but what was your inspiration to even wanting to get into cosplaying?
My dad's a huge nerd, and I'm also a huge nerd. And I remember seeing like San Diego Comic-Con on the news at one point, and
Okay.
I thought that was super cool. I was like, man, I want to look like that. And then I started kind of cosplaying characters that I was like, man, I want to look like them. And then it went from there.
I think for me, it was the first time I basically got dragged to Grand Rapids Comic Con right before the year before the pandemic hit, and I saw all these cosplayers, and I was like, man, I want to do that. And my best friend at the time just looked at me and it's like, so do it. So she was really my inspiration for it because she cosplayed a little bit, and it just went from there. I was like, all right, yes, I'm gonna do it.
See, I like that. A lot of people, like myself, it started with Halloween and just kind of branched out, but never thought it would be something that you could do all year long. And then it just hit. My first one was 2017, and I wasn't actually able to cosplay until 2021.
Oh,
And I have to say, I love it, and I want to continue definitely.
Heck yeah.
Now, with everything there, what is the challenges between cosplaying, going to the cons, and your personal life? Now, I know you're both in school right now still, right?
yep.
So it
Yeah.
sounds like this is gonna be it sounds like this could be a lot on your plate.
It can be. I think finding balance and like making sure that you don't put off all your cosplay stuff to the last minute so you're not like con crunching really hard. And I think that I know that I've done that. I know you've done
Oh,
it.
the con crunch is real. It's never worth it.
It's never worth it. Yeah, I think everyone here is guilty of that.
Yep.
But finding time for sure to make sure that you get your schooling done and getting your homework done, because education is going to be, it has to be a priority. Like you're going
Yeah.
to school for something and you're spending money like in tuition to go, and like making sure you do the best you can with that while also leaving room for that dopamine kind of cosplay time and like crafting and everything. That's a big struggle that I have personally.
I know for me, it's get my homework done before convention, because I've told myself I'll just do it in the hotel. No, I won't. I'll be too tired. It won't happen.
If not tired, just excited in general.
Yeah.
Or like you mentioned, that last little bit, fixing up the cosplay, the costume, armor, accessories. Sometimes between travels, things happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I definitely know how it is for you, a procrastinator. The now you both saw the chainsaw arm I had for my Ash Williams
Yeah, that was
cosplay.
awesome.
That was done in one day.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
I procrastinated way too long, and it's like, nope, hot glue, boom, here I go.
Yeah.
It looked great.
It did.
I just that blows me away. One day.
It's I don't know. It's something that happens every time. I mean, we all think about something that we're planning on doing, and a lot of times life gets in the way, and we push it. But if you put your mind to it, anything can be done.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping to revamp it and finish up a couple others for this year. I have one fun one I'm doing for the first time, and it's taking its toll because things are not going properly.
Mm.
But I think we all know how that goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious, what are some of the favorite cosplays you've done? Now I've seen Deku, of course, obviously, but would you say there's another one that's your favorite? And Bree, I've not seen too many of yours, but definitely looking forward to that in the near future.
I'd say Hawks from My Hero Academia is another one of my favorites that I love. I just feel so good with those giant wings on. And another one of my favorites is Aya from Mad Father. It's a really old, like pixelated horror game, but bringing her to life after having played her when I was like 12 is so satisfying, and it's one of my favorites.
Nice.
Then I think my favorites. I'm a League of Legends player.
Okay.
Yeah. But Spirit Blossom Kindred, from the Spirit Blossom skin line that they released, that one's pretty high up there for me.
So cool.
I love it. I 3D printed the bow, which is 2 3-foot long sections that were printed all in one piece. And then what was the other one? Star Guardian Soraka, which was my other. I'm a support main when I play video games, so both of those characters are supports or can be played as support, and she's pretty high up there on the list as well.
Very cool. Now, I figured Hawks would probably be one that you'd mention, though, Robin, because in the photos that I've seen, you have this aura of confidence.
I feel so good in him.
You look very comfortable in there, and same with your Deku.
Yep, those are my 2 mains.
Now, would I assume that My Hero Academia would be your go-to between cosplays for the most part?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Do you have any future characters that you're actually looking to do that you haven't done yet?
I'm hoping to do a different version of Dobby, his funeral look, which is his like white wig and all white outfit.
Villain Todoroki?
I did a villain Todoroki and I hated it, so I don't think I'll be bringing him back. Okay. Maybe someday doing Kirishima Red Riot I'd like to do, just because the foam work looks like a heck of a fun time to work on.
That definitely would be a fun one. You don't see that too often.
So he's a harder one to do just because with his hero suit, he doesn't have a shirt on. So, you either gotta just find a top and deal with it, or you have to buy a silicone or make a silicone chest, which is very expensive.
It can. But there might be a cheaper way to go about that. I'm assuming you probably have liquid latex within your crafting gear?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and grab a Halloween top that's muscular already. Like a Mr. Incredible or something along the lines.
Yeah, that could work.
Then layer it with liquid latex, and then use a little bit of airbrushing for the skin tone.
That's not a bad idea.
You'll save yourself probably about 75, if not 80% of how much it would for a silicone chest piece in general.
Yeah.
But it adds to what you want rather than what you bought.
True.
Right on.
Yeah, what can I say? I don't have the money to do it. That's why I'm a budget cosplayer, but I've got a lot of little ideas that I've seen over the years through people,
That's brilliant. Yeah. That's awesome.
That's a good idea.
Well, I try. I have moments. Not often, but I have moments. So how about you, Bree?
In terms of comfort cosplays or something else, or?
Just something that you're hoping to do in the near future, or, something that you haven't done yet.
Ooh. My whole cosplay list just dropped out of my brain. I'm working on Barbie Swan Lake, which is a really oddly specific one. But I grew up with that, so I was like, I want to be Odette. So I started making a Barbie Swan Lake cosplay that I'm hoping to be wearing at some point this year. There was Alistair from Has-Been Hotel. What was the other one? Oh, and Fizzarali from the original Fizzarali from Hell of a Boss are a couple of the other ones that I really, really want to try to get done this year. Hopefully.
You got this.
But they're both pretty big kind of builds. So I'm like, but we'll see. We'll figure it out.
Big builds, but sounds like fun builds.
Yes.
And especially if you have a smile when you're talking about them, then they must be exciting.
Yes, for sure.
Now I've got a couple that I've been wanting to do as well. Sometime maybe I'll be able to, but I would like to go ahead and get someone from My Hero Academia together, because anytime I've gone, everyone who's dressed up as either Deku, Todoroki, Bakugo, any of them, they see me and they walk away. I have not been acknowledged once. And that right here
Overhaul mask.
Yep. And I should be having the jacket come into the mail soon since I couldn't make it, which will finally complete it.
Heck yeah, it's gonna be
That's so
cool.
exciting.
It is. But out of all the different characters for My Hero, there is one I've never seen anyone cosplay yet, and I want to do it.
Who is it?
Fat Gum.
Yes.
Yep, I want to do that, but I want to do it with the transformation.
Yeah, that's gonna be so cool.
That'd be super dope.
It's going to take some work, a lot of planning, but yeah, once it's done, whether it works the way I want it, it'll be something different and something fun.
Heck yeah.
That's gonna be sweet.
Let's hope in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from when you guys started cosplaying, what was it like when you first started to what it is now? Like, how has it changed?
I don't want this to be taken in a like negative light, but it's become a little more stressful. When I started, I had no expectations on myself, and no one had any expectations on me on what I, put out there on Instagram or any other social media. Now I feel like everything has to be perfect. It has to be perfection, or I'm not going to be proud of it, which is a terrible mindset to have.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good.
Yeah, I would have to agree it's a little more stressful. I think that on the flip side of it, because I'm an adult with adult money now, my horizons are a little bit broader. I can kind of afford to like buy materials and like make my own cosplays from scratch as opposed to like and not that there's anything wrong with pre-made cosplays ever. They don't fit me. I'm almost 6 feet tall, so I'm a big person, and so women's cuts of clothing don't typically fit me as well as I would hope they would. So that's kind of, my horizons are broader in terms of what I can achieve, and then I think that is kind of the biggest thing beyond the like stress of it, but
That I do. Being a bigger guy myself, I can't buy a lot of things online if I wanted to because they don't fit right.
Mm-hmm.
They say, oh, it's this size, and then you find out it's 2 sizes smaller.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at, where I have to buy them and make costumes that aren't too elaborate, but more fun. And that's why I like Ash and Castiel. I love both of them because it's regular clothes, but still has an ambiance.
Yeah.
But I need to get a sewing machine, and I want to start from scratch again and do what I was brought up and taught to do,
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Definitely. Finally branch out from just the crafting and purchasing things, putting them together, which is definitely not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But, take it to another level.
Yeah.
But now I hear what you mean about the stress. You're going to be your biggest, person that's telling you what's right and what's wrong compared to anyone else. And the worst part about it is you're going to be with you 24/7. So if you're not happy with it, it's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say just take a deep breath each time, just relax a little bit, and if it starts getting overwhelming, put on one of those retro games, go ahead and hang out with a friend, do something fun, something different, and then just go back to it when you feel ready. Because regardless, your fans are still going to be there for you regardless, and they're not expecting you to do everything 24/7.
Yeah.
So, besides, like I've seen that you've done from when I first met you to what I've seen you posting, phenomenal work.
Thanks.
So, let's see. We've covered quite a bit right here. What would you say is some stuff that you would like to talk about in general? Like, do you have any upcoming craft work that you're working on, armor that you're printing, just in general?
There's a lot in the works at this point. I started making is it okay if I tell them?
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Grand Rapids Comic-Con, we're doing kind of a has-been hotel group cosplay with some of the other guests. So that's gonna be fun. And I am booth buddying for Robin at that event. So I'm going to be doing loot from Has Been Hotel, and I started making like the helmet.
That's so cool.
It's big. It took, I think, cumulative 6-ish days to print everything. Okay. Yeah, it's big, and like it's just the shapes are kind of awkward and large. So it took about 6 days to print everything, and then it's all assembled right now. It's just not finished like at all. Like I put like a layer of Bondo on it and then walked away. I'm like, it's fine. It'll be fine. So that's one of the ones. What about you?
I'm working on Charlie right now from Has Been Hotel. Me and Brie have been working on her wig yesterday and probably a bit today, because I didn't realize when I bought the wig how much hair there was, because when I put it on my head, it goes down to my feet. It's huge,
large wig.
And I, of course, crimping. I was like, this will take me like 2 hours. It took me 5 days to crimp that wig because it kept getting tangled, and then I got frustrated and had to walk away.
Wow.
So big. Much. The wig is so large.
But I bet you it's worth it, right?
Yes, it looks fabulous right now, and I'm so excited.
It's gonna be awesome.
See, I feel a little bit bad because I have not yet seen Has Been Hotel. But
it's a good one. I can't judge you because it's one that, like, if you don't know or you're not like sure you want to watch it, or if you got other stuff going on, it's like kind of hard to get into right off rip. But if you do have a chance to watch it, I super recommend it. I've watched it a couple times at this point, so
I plan on it. It is definitely one of the lists, that I have right now.
Mm-hmm.
I was introduced to it because of my sister, actually.
Oh.
The other day when we had to reschedule, she was the one telling me about it on that day.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And then as soon as she did, it popped up on Facebook everywhere.
Yep.
So now I've seen a little bit of it. I see people talking about it, and I want to check it out. Just like you said, have to get a little bit of time in between to make sure that I can do that.
Yes. Yep.
But I also took the liberty, and I've got some photos of your cosplays, at least a couple of them there from previous ones. And I'd like to showcase that.
Mm-hmm. It's Todoroki.
Oh, the Todoroki. Nice. All purple guy's dope. Yes. All the bloodbaths.
All the bloodbaths. It's you. Heck yeah. Sweet.
Man, that one was a heavy one. Oh, Witch Mercy. That's the first time I ever wore that one. Then Soraka. That's so cool.
Some of those that I've seen, it blew my mind. I mean, the seam work that you've done on the sewing, the costumes in general, the weaponry, props, just how,
Black magic? I don't know.
Digging around in the pole barn?
Real. Oh.
We'll go with that. No, I mean, a lot of the stuff that you have there between the props that you have, your Dark Deku helmet, your staff, the wings, between all that stuff, it almost looks like it would be store-bought, of high quality, and it's impressive. The work you put into it and how it comes out. I would love to have you guys do a tutorial sometime to show people exactly how or what goes into it, I bet.
Yeah, I'd be super down for that, honestly.
That would be awesome, because I would like to learn a little bit more right there as well. In fact, by the sounds of it, you are really, what am I going to say? I wouldn't say a master crafter of it, but let's say really into making the wigs and stylizing them properly for the different cosplays. And I wouldn't mind learning how to do that and getting it done properly,
Heck yeah.
So let's see. What would you say is some of the favorite cosplays you've seen people wear that either you thought about wanting to wear and haven't seen, or just in general? I don't know if you were at the Comic-Con the one year, but if you've seen the Book of Life.
I've seen clips of that one.
Mhm.
I've not watched that one personally.
Same.
So in the Book of Life, there is two immortals, essentially, the one of life, the one of death, making a bet to see essentially who's going to overrule, heaven, if you will. And someone dressed up as the female version, and she had a hat about at least 4.5 foot long, all around, candles on the running train from her dress, the skull makeup, everything. It was just impressive.
That's awesome.
Okay.
It's one of those things where you turn around and you see it and you're just enthralled and like,
Right.
Holy cow.
There was that cosplayer. This was a couple years ago. It was like before I really started like cosplaying at events, because I used to do like artist alleys and stuff, and I don't really do that so much anymore personally. But there was that Bakugo. There was yeah, it was like a Bakugo. It was an adult that it was the adult version of Bakugo, and he had these like gauntlets that they had like smoke machines in them, and there was lights, and they crackled like lava, and it was crazy. And I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I wish I had gotten like their Instagram or something.
I think I have it.
Do you actually?
I think so.
I can't remember.
Dig, but yeah, because they asked me to take a photo with them because I was at Deku at that point.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's so sweet. I didn't grab their Instagram or anything, but I remember like looking at them and I was like, that is the coolest thing I've seen. Like, that is so cool. There was the Ainz too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was we went to KitsuneCon 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Right about 2 or 3.
Or no, it was Amki. It was
Yeah.
Anime Milwaukee, not KitsuneCon. Different Wisconsin convention.
Okay.
And there was an Ainz from Overlord that was there.
So cool.
Ooh.
It was really, really cool. I might have a picture of it that I can send your way if you want to see it. But it was like the eyes glowed and like he was real tall and like the dude was tall. Anyways.
It was the All Might that jump scared me.
There was there was an All Might cosplayer that we saw him the next day who happened to be the same person, and he was 6.5.
Yeah, I had to do this. I was like, oh my god.
He was a tall dude, and like he was wearing like 6-inch platforms, but the dude had to be 6'6" without them, and it was the craziest thing. I was like, oh my gosh, but it was really cool. And
sounds like it.
Yeah, that was up there.
I think for me, I saw online, and I want to do it somehow. It was Ronnie from Elden Ring. She has like this
the
big hat that glows, and she has like 4 arms that move independently. Oh, it was one of the most beautiful cosplays I've ever seen. And hopefully someday I can make something even just the littlest as impressive as that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, with all the different cosplays out there, the ability between foam work, sewing, the electronics, lighting, what isn't there a possibility to do nowadays,
Right. Yeah.
The question is time and money.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, there's nothing wrong with making it out of duct tape. There's nothing wrong with purchasing it, building it.
Mm-hmm.
Every which way is absolutely fine.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And of course, whatever you do, make sure you ask people if they want a picture taken. And if they're not responding to you, don't just go up to them, grab them, and start, hey, how you doing? No, be respectful.
Yes, for sure.
One of the cool things I've seen pop up at events is cosplay is not consent, and all of those signs that are up saying like don't touch them, don't touch their costumes, don't touch their props, don't take pictures without asking. And I think that that's super duper important for sure.
Agreed. There's too many times that I've seen where a person has just been walking and someone would put their hand on their shoulder to turn them around, or walked up to them, wrapped their arm around them, and you can see that look of disgust. Of, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Half the time I'm actually nervous to ask the person because I don't want to offend them, because you can tell that they look like they're a little tired. But at the same time, you can't help it. I mean, the work they do, what they put into it, You know, you don't want to be cheap and just take a picture without them knowing about it. You want to make sure and give the recognition that, dude, I love what you did, or you know, wow.
For
Because
sure.
I mean, in the end, we don't just do it for ourselves. We do it for other people, and it's not about making money. It's about making memories.
For sure.
On that note, what would you say is one of your favorite memories of making someone else in awe or making their day?
Ooh.
I have one. It seems like for every con I go to, a little kid gives me something of the character I am. And as a preschool teacher as well, it makes me so happy. Like I have a handmade Deku drawing that a little girl gave me at really cool, I think, on my fridge. It's one of my like prized possessions and I love it. And I love seeing kids recognize my character and getting super excited and happy.
That's a good one.
That's very good. Wow.
And then I think one of my favorites is I was at Cherry Capital Comic-Con and I was dressed as Raven from Teen Titans. And I had a couple of kids walk into I was vending in the game room, and I usually cosplayed when I was like vending because I like to cosplay. And now I'm just like, I'm just going to cosplay. And I had some kids walk into the game room where I was vending, and they went, "Oh my God, it's Raven!" And they booked it over to me. And their mom was like, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "No, it's fine." And they were like asking me questions about the other Teen Titans. And you just kind of like, I just leaned into it, and they full-heartedly believed I was the character. And it was the most like endearing thing. I was like, "Oh my God, these kids are so cute." It was so good.
That's another thing I like is when you dress up as a cosplay character, that's one thing. But when you embody that character, both mannerisms, just talking about it, and just to make someone else's day, it's so fun. Other than Raven, what other one would you say that you've done where you've done that with a character and just brought them completely to life?
Ooh. Oh man, now I gotta think about it. I have a bunch of Sebastian's one that I've done a couple times.
You do pretty well with Sebastian.
I had someone come up to me and they're like, Can you say the thing? And I'm like, what? Because his line is, "I'm simply one hell of a butler." And I like leaned into it and I kind of said it, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited." They were super geeked about it. And I was like, I am very glad this person even recognized who I was cosplaying. So that was a good one. That was fun. That's cool.
How about you, Robin?
I'm so bad at like, if I'm not prepared to embody the character, someone just comes up to me like expecting me to be in character. I was like, oh gosh. But I think besides Deku, I do Hawks pretty well because he's just smug, and because I feel so confident in it, it just kind of happens. I'm like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I could just see it now. Someone walks up to you and you're just like, "Yep," and just starts walking away while still talking to him.
Good day.
Oh my gosh.
Now, let's see. What kind of tips would you give for anyone who'd like to begin cosplaying?
Ooh, there's a lot there.
By all means, we got plenty of time.
I think one of the biggest ones is don't ever pick cosplay over your other bills. First of all, because cosplaying is an expensive hobby. It can get very expensive, and you can do it in a budgeted way where, because like I'm a huge proponent of thrifting items, of thrifting, like I've made like cloaks, and like my Soraka cosplay, that golden one that you showed a picture of, the bodice was made out of a bed sheet. Like just a cotton bed sheet that I like thrifted, and I was just like, this'll work fine. It's white, and then I just cut it up and like used the fabric. So it cost me like $1.50 for like all the fabric for it, instead of like $10 or $12 at the like fabric store. But definitely like don't spend the money that you have expendable and are willing to allocate to this. Don't overspend, and don't pick cosplay over bills. That's a huge one. Like thrift where you can. It's not a bad thing to use upcycled fabrics. It's not a bad thing to use used shoes or used clothing items. Like that's a very budget friendly and environmentally friendly, if we're honest, way to cosplay.
I think for me, it's you're not gonna start out where you want to. For when I started, I was comparing myself to all these pro cosplayers and the like millions of followers. And then looking at my stuff and being like, oh, it's not as good. Well, of course it's not as good. You've only been cosplaying for 2 weeks. Like, it's a learn as you go hobby or career. You're not going to start out knowing everything. You have to work your way up and learn as you craft. And you're not going to be great at one skill right when you start.
That's a good one.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's I'd have to say if you're cosplaying, but you're still a little timid about it and not too confident, but you're still doing it, find something, the character that you have that you're doing, and make a small little prop, something you can either talk about or that'll make you feel a little bit confident, change the mood. Like for me, Castiel, I made the wallet, but I have it set up. But I have it set up so that I know how to open it every time that it's upside down.
Okay.
You'll get two different people. You'll get the one who says, yep. Or you'll get the other ones who are like, you know it's upside down, right? And then you're just like, and it takes them a few seconds and, oh, that's right.
That's awesome.
Both go, it just breaks the ice. I mean, sometimes since you don't know people, but they come up to you anyway. I mean, we're all strangers in a sense, but having that little icebreaker, it eases not only the conversation, but it puts you at ease as well. For like Deku, that's perfect. Midoriya is known to be a little high-strung at times and nervous, so when someone comes up to you, just embody the hold on a second, let me think about it right now. I need to talk a little bit about it, and just go with it.
Like me usually.
Yeah. I mean, it works. It's great.
But they know it because that's what they see the character do in real life as well on the show and in the manga. So they don't know you're not playing a bit.
Yeah.
It gives you that second, it gives you that little bit, but it puts a smile on their face as well,
I know one tip that I would have, and this is a weird one that I was like, I did this a lot when I was younger, and like I don't necessarily have RBF, but I just kind of flat face a lot. I make it an effort now, and like this is how I've met some of my friends, just like in passing or otherwise. If you make eye contact with someone, smile at them. Just like even if you don't don't like stare them down and like, but just quick smile, and like usually people feel a lot more at ease to come up to you and ask to take a picture. Because I've noticed that like I'll catch people like kind of staring, and then it's like, oh hi. And then they're like, oh my gosh, okay, I come talk to you and like take pictures. We had that a lot at Amkey, where people would kind of like recognize, we were Sebastian and Ciel, and people would recognize the characters and they would just kind of like stare at us a little bit. And I'm like, oh, hi. And then they came up and I were like, can we take a picture with you? And it's like, absolutely. And you can meet some really cool people that way. And it's kind of it's a neat way to kind of, meet people at events and like make friends and connections and grow your community. I think that's a really good thing to do.
Definitely agree. But that explains a lot now from when I first met you.
Yes.
So Envy the Green Fairy, of course, brought me over to talk to you. And right when I came up, you had that look on your face of just normal. And then as soon as I went by a little prop and then she was right there, instantly was literally, it was like, oh, hi.
That's awesome.
The brain cells lit up and I was like, time to smile.
Well, that makes more sense. And that I get it. Some people, they don't know how you're going to react. So, I mean, there's been cosplayers out there who are a bit rude. They do it for their own reason, but they're not really a people person, which is a shame, but it's their own prerogative, But I agree. Find a way to smile or something along the lines that keeps yourself a little bit more inviting. So kids, other people who are curious about what you've done or who you are and everything are willing to come over and interact.
For sure.
Even if you're far away, you catch them looking at you and you just kind of turn the opposite way, turn around, be like, just have fun with it.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, there are cosplayers out there who find this is the best way for them to be themselves.
Absolutely.
Because it's kind of like Batman. You know, he puts on the cowl, cape. That's who he is. Bruce Wayne is his alter ego.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, have you ever found any struggles or issues going to a con before? And if you have, how did you overcome it?
Struggles or issues going to a con in terms of, I guess, what's the context of struggle or issue, just so I'm clear?
Fair enough. You've gone to a con and you had some struggles where people were completely naysayers or just, no, you shouldn't be here, or something along the lines of that, you know, just in general, but how you came around it. Or as a person who deals with a booth that you've gone for your first time, you know, struggles that way, you know, just something in general. The cons have a lot of different things about them, so there's many topics that it could be, whether it's something small, large, a little heart-wrenching, or heartwarming.
I've got one. I think one of the biggest things that I've encountered, and like I think this could probably, call me out if I'm wrong, because I've not had a cosplay booth at this point yet. My first one's going to be at Cadillac Pop Culture Con, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I have vended, and I've vended for 4 years almost. People on the opposite side of the booth sometimes don't realize that, like, hey, I am also human. And it's not okay to say really off the wall or out of pocket stuff to me. Like, that's not appropriate. It wouldn't be appropriate if I was on that side of the booth, and it's not any different on this side of the booth. Things like just nitpicky, kind of tongue-in-cheek, like velvet dagger type comments. Like if somebody didn't like how I painted something, or if they didn't like something about my booth, like I've had people make kind of like just not great comments. And I used to be a little more wound up about it, I guess. It comes down to like, just write it off. Just, they're gonna walk 15 feet down the aisle and forget you exist, and you should kind of just do the same. And I don't mean that in like a terrible, like mean or rude way. I mean that in a, we're just human. Write it off. It's busy. It's overstimulating in here. Like, people are just people, and they're gonna say silly stuff sometimes, and it's just easier to write it off and not let it rent too much space in your head. That's kind of my experience with it, at least.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, people are usually pretty good about it, but there's been a couple of times where it's like, oh, that's not super all right to say, but go off, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't think I have one, like, besides people like at cons that I know that don't like me and do say things, but that's whatever. Besides that, like, cons have been a really good experience for me, and I haven't had any huge struggles yet, knock on wood.
No kidding.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah.
But having to deal with people that know you, that act the way they do, it's definitely not called for. But we all run into stuff like that ourselves, whether at a con, at work, even online.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's how you deal with it, you know? You could either be snarky and say something back, or just let it go.
And just walk away.
Yep. And just walk right down there to that root beer float, booth. Go ahead and get that big giant drink, and then there you go.
I feel better now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to this day, I've still not actually got one from there yet.
Oh, no kidding. I know Ian got one. He has the, my partner has the cups from the Wild Bill's root beer thing. He has like 2 of them at this point. I'm like, oh, okay. This is how our cup collection's starting. Great.
Hey, cup collections are good.
True.
Where I work, I can actually get custom ones made, whether it's whether it's a coffee mug or if it's a latte mug. Actually, give me a second here. I actually have one that I have custom made.
My sticker's falling off the water bottle.
My apologies for the intermission.
Oh, that's really
no.
cool.
So I am a huge Godzilla fan,
Okay.
Heck yeah.
and I couldn't help but getting Mikiru from the Millennium series water mug.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
But it's stuff like that. I can go ahead and get those done, which is nice. So, my collection got a little out of hand for a bit there.
I feel that.
It happens.
That it does. It's whether it's art, whether it's clothes. We all have stuff that we have a little shtick about that we like.
Mhm.
We just have to go ahead and learn to budget it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Cosplays.
All my statues.
All my-
I have a All Might shrine is basically what I call it. I buy almost every All Might figure or like the little glass, I don't know what they're called. I bought one of Battle Angel Venti. What are they called?
Oh, little etched things?
Yeah.
Yeah, the laser etched like light little
Okay.
prisms.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called either. If I'm honest. I know what you're talking about though.
Yes. Everything All Might I get. And it's a problem, but I'm gonna keep doing it.
So what you're saying is, one of these days we need to go ahead and convince Night Mage to show up as All Might again.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I will geek.
Okay.
Awesome.
If he's watching this right now, then hey, you heard it here. You got Deku, you have Overhaul, whatever Bree would like to do, and we'll get a little thing going here. We'll start off with the man himself.
Present Mike.
That too.
I have plans for a present Mike cosplay this summer for an event that I'm going to. So I'm going to be doing that, but I'm doing it with kind of a weird thing where the neck piece. I do a lot with electronics, so I work in tech, and I'm going to make the neck piece into a speaker that will.
Yeah, I think I need to talk to you a little bit more later on about stuff like that, because that would come in handy in the future for a couple cosplays I have on the back burner.
Yeah, absolutely. Reach out whenever. I'm more than happy to answer questions and stuff.
I had another guest a little while ago. He deals with the soundboards to be able to do sound as well.
Okay.
He was actually there during the costume contest that you were in at the Grand Rapids Comic Con.
Okay.
You remember the gentleman that was dressed up as the character from Destiny 2?
Yeah. Yes. I know. Donnie. I think.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, he was actually on here as a guest, and
Right on.
but he went ahead and was talking about the soundboards. So he had in his hand that allowed him to control the different sounds, from the roar to the stomps, and I need to talk to him as well because I have a particular one that I want to do, but it's not auditory of sounds, but it's more along the lines of background music that plays with the character.
Oh, okay.
Think of it as a 1970s Power Rangers before the Power Rangers showed up.
Okay. Right on.
So yeah, it's kind of a passion piece, I guess you could say. I grew up and saw the show, and my mom made the whole costume for me as a kid. So during second grade, I went as this character. Full helmet, full shield, outfit, everything.
That's so cool.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh.
And I want to bring it back. I want to do it, but modern.
Absolutely.
But it's an old one, so a lot of people don't know who it is.
That's okay. I feel like doing niche characters is like one of those things that people are always like, I don't want to do it because no one's gonna know who it is. But you know who it is. You're doing this for you. It's your thing. Like you should enjoy it, even if other people don't necessarily know who the character is.
Yep. I have two particular ones that I plan on doing, but I need a partner for one of them.
Mhm.
And it sounds like he might be willing to do it, but another old character from Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
So I don't know how well versed are you in Saturday Night Live retro shows?
Not at all, if I'm honest.
Now, if that being the case, how about Brother Bear?
Oh,
I do
okay.
know Brother Bear, yep.
Yes.
Okay, you remember Rodent Took?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine the voices, but done as a flannel-wearing Canadians.
That's awesome.
That's oh my gosh.
So the original characters were Bob and Doug McKenzie as the McKenzie brothers in Saturday Night Live, played by
Oh.
Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, who did the voices of Rodent Took in Brother Bear.
That's
Oh,
so
very
cool.
cool.
I didn't know that. That's fun.
Well, that's where it's a nice, change from the old generation to the new generation.
Mhm.
They'll do the same thing, but in a different way. So it's enlightening for a whole new era of people.
Mhm.
Or some of us who are older, then it's a retouching of the old ones again, and we're just like, I know where you came from.
Heck
Mhm.
yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite things I've been seeing a lot more of recently in the cosplay community is like, I'm gonna say retro. I don't think it's retro, but it might be. I've seen a Rainbow Bright cosplay, like the character Rainbow Bright. I've seen Strawberry Shortcake. I don't know if you saw that.
I
There was
did.
a
It was
Strawberry
so
Shortcake,
cute.
and then the orange one. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Okay.
A lot of Barbie. So like Barbie Swan Lake, Barbie Fairytopia, Barbie Mermaidia, like all these, I guess, nostalgic
Yes.
like characters are like coming out of the woodworks in cosplays recently, and I'm like, yes, I'm so excited to see all this.
Stuff that we've seen in the 80s, coming
Mhm.
back again, relevant, and just done in different ways.
Mhm.
I actually talked to someone who dresses as Michael Myers, and he does this on a regular basis, different ways. He even created a special one. He talked to a guy who makes his masks, and he had him make it red with horns like a devil.
Mm.
That's cool.
But then he wore the outfit that was used in Stranger Things. So he had the denim jacket, the Hellfire Club shirt, and he's just like,
Heck yeah.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
and it's fun to see that. You get from what we knew to how it's done now.
Mhm.
Well, we told them because Barbie is being very popular again, we need to make an entire bedazzled pink jumpsuit with a pink mask and go as Barbie Michael Myers.
Yes.
Please, I need to see this.
But after we were talking about that, it actually made me think of a cosplay that I wanted to do, but I can't unless I have a couple other people willing to do the other characters.
Mhm.
So I would need two feminine characters as well as myself, and it is from My Hero Academia. Can you guess who it is? If it's one guy with two feminine characters as a team of heroes?
I want to say the Wild Wild Pussycats, but I don't know if that's right.
Yes. That's gonna be so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's one that I'm thinking about, but I'm gonna have to find someone who's willing to do that, and then go to the con. But yeah, just dress up right there. There's Tiger.
That's awesome.
But I'm going out of my comfort zone now.
Mhm.
I've always been stuck into it for a while. I didn't like dressing up as characters that I didn't feel my body would fit. It was a mindset I didn't care for. But after going to the con and seeing a lot of people, different styles, and how awesome it was, the energy, how they smiled, how other people smiled, it's like, okay. And that's when I went and did my Castiel, and people came up, gave me high fives, like, dude.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, and now, okay, bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care
That's
what
awesome.
the character is, just let's have fun.
Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Now we are coming close to the end of the show right now. Would either of you have anything that you would like to say to our viewers, words of wisdom, if you will?
Got anything?
Always remember to wear PPE when you're working with anything that could be toxic. That's all I got.
That is a good one. That is actually a really good one. One I forget every now and then at work myself, but work did not hear that. Nope.
It's important.
He's like, you are nothing.
For legal reasons, that's a joke, but
Definitely not a joke, but
yeah.
yeah, I just don't want to get in trouble from them if they see
Yes.
this.
Yep.
The thing for me is don't let anyone tell you that you can't do a character you love. Like if you're not the same body type, like, or if you're too tall or too short, like it doesn't matter. Just do it.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I mentioned, I had that problem where I listened to people. Now I listen to myself.
Heck yeah.
There is one character, though, that my friend, he's been wanting me to dress up for years as, and I wouldn't do it for that reason. Now, he's probably going to be watching this, and when he does, and he's going to hear me, so I'm going to get this text probably within about minutes from when this episode airs, but Nacho Libre.
Have you watched that one?
No.
Jack Black movie?
No.
Oh my gosh, what?
I'm sorry. I'm not educated.
I know who you're talking about. That's going to be awesome. I think
Just
that's
imagine
cool.
Jack Black, okay, with a mustache, long curly hair, in wrestling tights from the 1970s to 80s, blue and red underwear over top like Superman. Just going.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. I have seen pictures of it. Yes. It's going to be awesome.
The joke is that when we went to see it, my friend couldn't stop seeing me as Jack Black, and we nearly got into a couple car accidents because he was in tears still laughing at me, quoting the movie, pointing to me.
Oh my God.
So he's been wanting me to do it for years, and I think now I've actually got the confidence to do it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Go for it.
That's awesome.
So, but that would be my words right there of wisdom. Just go with it and have fun. Thank you both, Bree and Robin, for joining me today.
Of course.
It's been absolutely a pleasure to actually talk to you since I didn't get a chance to do too much of that at the con when I first met you, and I've been wanting to pick your brains for a while.
Thank you for having us. This has been a really cool experience, and we appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, anytime. If you're willing to come back on another show at some point, I'm glad to have you. We can even do it as a tutorial or guides to wigs, hairstyle, foam work, 3D printing, whatever you'd like. And I'm absolutely game with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sounds good.
But thank you for again. And if you'd like to stay in the studio for a little bit afterwards, feel free. If not, understand. But thank you again. And we're going to go with this here. Like and subscribe, of course. And we are on Spreaker as well as Spotify. So make sure to go ahead and check us out if you don't want to watch the show and you'd rather listen to it. And we'll see you next time. Thank you again.
Are you interested in cosplay, currently a cosplayer, or have an experience you wish to share? Want to be on the show? Simply text, email, or send a message on our Facebook page. I can't wait to hear from you.